Okay, gotta make everything symmetrical. Sink. Oh, that's the second time I've started a video where I got a text message. Things are looking up for good old Dan. Oh my goodness. What's up, everybody? So today's video is could be considered a heavy topic. I want to open your eyes a little bit more to the topic of depression and anxiety, and how I plan on doing that is taking 10 myths that we all, society, thinks is how it is, but is not how it is. I got 5 fingers. 5 fingers. You probably have 5 fingers too. If you don't, I'm sorry, but you should not have been playing with that knife. 5 fingers. This represents the amount of people that know about my experience with depression and anxiety. Now, after just saying that sentence, a potential 253,000 people now know about my experience. I got the chills saying that because that was a dark past of mine that I've not shared with anybody until 7 seconds ago. Now, Dan, why are you sharing this experience with us? I feel like it's time for me to share that with you guys so you know that it's a very common thing. So the best way that I can do that is share with you guys 10 myths. Myths means it's not true, it's just what we think is true, about depression and anxiety. So what is depression? When a person feels sadness so severe that it actually affects their everyday life. Now, I'll quickly share with you guys my story with depression and anxiety. It was my second year of college. I would go home to my apartment every day after class. I didn't really have roommates that I would talk to or they were ever really there, so it was really me. My friends that I had in my course would go back with their roommates, they'd have fun, they would like do fun activities. I didn't do that because I didn't want to be the guy that's like,
hey, can I like come and hang out with you guys?
Because sometimes that guy's annoying, okay? This weird thing started happening. I was on the phone with my mom one evening, and she goes, hey Dan, like you're sounding a little, is everything okay? You sound a little, not yourself. Honestly, I will tell you, I feel like I just want to cry, and I don't know why. It's a weird emotion. And we talked about it, and it was kind of like, okay, that was kind of strange. I kind of shook it off. I was like, ooh, didn't like that. Let's go make mac and cheese, feel better. Actually, that's the truth. One of those cabinets is my medicine cabinet, and I have Pepto-Bismol, Tylenol, and 2 boxes of Kraft Dinner. Anyways, so I kind of just brushed it off and said, whatever, it's nothing. Unfortunately, it started to get worse, and I started getting this feeling of wanting to cry more. And it got to the point where I would sleep longer, or I wouldn't necessarily sleep, I would stay in bed. I wouldn't want to eat the Kraft Dinner. I lost my appetite. I lost the drive and motivation to go hang out with friends. I would rather stay in this little safe place of a college dorm room that I created for myself, because that's where the social anxiety came into play. It started to develop and got a little bit worse, and I'm the type of guy that I wear my emotions on my sleeve. So things kind of started to get worse, and I ended up going to a doctor, and I said, look doc, I'm not here because I have a cold. I got this weird fungus growing on my feet. Totally don't have a weird fungus growing on my feet. That was just a joke. I said, I'm feeling sad, and I don't know why. And they said, Dan, what's going on in your life? And what was weird was I couldn't answer that question. There wasn't any sort of traumatic or anything of crazy significance that would have pushed me to feel this way. It was just, I was feeling this way. Found out that what it was for me is loneliness. I'm a guy that has to be around people. I need to be with my buddies and just give nuggies. I gotta be with people. I gotta be sociable. And I went back to this dorm room, did the same stuff every night, and my social life started to diminish. I felt insignificant. I didn't feel like I was on the path of where I wanted to be. Worthlessness and empty. And that's kind of what caused me to be sad. Anyways, I started seeing a doctor for a couple weeks, and that's the extent of my experience to a very basic degree. All it was for me that made me feel better was I needed to talk to a professional and say, look guys, or look doc, this is what I'm feeling like. Can you explain to me why or what this might be? And that was enough to thankfully help me after 4 months of being depressed. So let's get into it. Here are 10 myths about depression and anxiety. Myth number 1, you are alone. The best way that I can describe my feeling when I was depressed was, if this is ground level, this is where people walk, this is where you ride your bike, right here, you feel like you're in this weird human-sized pit that is just too far for you to reach to get out. I don't know how to explain it, but that's how I felt. Nobody could hear me, I couldn't help, I couldn't get out, and you feel alone because you look around in this pit and it's just walls. When in reality, that wall is 2 centimeters thick and there's another pit with somebody else in it. A lot of us fall into these pits at some point in life. And all it takes is just coming out and looking around and saying, wow, look at all these pits that everybody else is in. We're not alone in our own little pit. That's just how it seems. Myth number 2, depression, that mental illness is forever. That was the scariest part for me, was feeling this unknown time frame. When am I gonna get better, doctor? Usually it's, hey, take this twice a day and you'll be better in a week. With this, there is no time frame. You don't know when you're gonna get better, and that's what's so daunting about it. But I can tell you that it's not forever. It is not something that you should be getting comfortable with and accepting like, oh, this is my life now. No, you have to keep fighting to get better, and you will get better. There are so many freaking treatments out there that can help you get better. Myth number 3, nobody will ever understand. Guys, depression wasn't invented yesterday. There's so many cases that are being diagnosed that I almost guarantee your case has probably been treated before. By going to a doctor and saying, hey, this is how I'm feeling, if they go and they respond with,
wow, you need to go because I don't know how to fix you.
They're not gonna say that. They go to school, they're medically trained, they are very smart people, and they will never give you that answer. More people than you think will understand. Myth number 4, you're broken and you're weak. By thinking that they're broken or that they're weak, that just drives the stigma further into people's heads. Myth number 5, guy, just snap out of it. Snap out of it. That's not how it is. That's not how it works. You can't just snap out of it. It's not a choice. That is more harmful than helpful. They mean it in the best intentions of trying to give you tough love on, hey, come on, just snap out of it. Get up and let's just go. Think happy. Stop thinking that way. If it was that easy, guys, none of us would be affected by it. Oftentimes, it is a chemical imbalance or it is a thought process that we're kind of stuck in. It was never a point in time where I snapped out of it. It was the slow progression of getting better until I finally felt, yeah, I feel like I'm getting there. Myth number 6, real men, they don't get depressed. It's that way of thinking that scares people from getting help. It's a pride thing, and a lot of real men that consider them real men are very prideful, and they would never do something, never show a sign of weakness. It makes them afraid of appearing less masculine, strong, stable, which then drives them to have the fear of speaking up and saying, hey, I'm suffering from this. And because of that thought process, they avoid treatment and getting diagnosed, which then potentially leads to substance abuse. Myth number 8, that's not a real illness. People with depression actually have physical differences in their brain. When people categorize mental illness as not a real illness, that only belittles the illness and makes people fearful of getting help with it because it's not real. It's not a thing. Just snap out of it. That's not how it goes, guys. There's an actual change in your head. Myth number 9, people with depression are like sad all the time. I saw my buddy laugh last week. He's not depressed. People that are suffering from a mental illness can still laugh. They can still smile. They can still have moments of happiness, but for the majority of their time, they have this feeling of emptiness on the inside. And myth number 10, it's just not okay to talk about it. I encourage people to talk about it with people you trust, because some people, it may develop into some sort of bullying. Anytime you reveal some sort of experience that is different than somebody else, that is when bullying comes into place. Talk about it with people you trust. Don't do it to get sympathy, and don't do it so people know you've been through a hard time. That's not what this is about, and that's not gonna help anything. The reason I made this video is because on Wednesday, January 27th, there was something called Bell Let's Talk. No, this is not a sponsored video of any sort. So every tweet that has the hashtag Bell Let's Talk, they will donate 5 cents to mental illness initiatives, which is a huge thing. Guys, last year this was huge. Like Justin Bieber shared it, tons of celebrities shared it. It would mean very much to me if you guys would use the hashtag Bell Let's Talk on January 27th to help to help mental illness. It's a very, very real thing. I do have to do a disclaimer because this happens a lot with my videos. You guys reach out to me, say, hey, I did this. Hey, what kind of ingredient do I buy here? You guys reach out to me and I love it. I love that you guys are trying what I'm doing. But with this topic, mental illness in particular, Guys, I'm not a professional. What I'm doing today right now is just debunking myths that I feel are toxic towards the stigma of mental illness. That's it. I'm not claiming I'm a professional. Please do not come to me for any sort of severe depression or any sort of help that you guys need in terms of that. I'm not a professional, and I want to make that clear. This isn't something that will help you get my attention. I know a lot of you guys do that, unfortunately. This isn't something to use to get my attention. It's okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to not be okay and not get help with it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. See you guys later.